discussion
Okay.
or traveling too.
And we're back. We're back. We're back. We're back.
This episode is sponsored by Father's Day. You can find Father's Day on the third week of June every year. How do
That's
you
true.
participate in Father's Day? Well, you either make a baby or adopt a child or
Hmm.
have a father,
That
and
works too.
you can participate. Or maybe if you have a dog and you call yourself the father
Sure.
of
Fur
a
babies. Yep.
pet,
That happens.
there you go, fur baby.
There you go.
Uh, the reason why I say it's sponsored is because, boom, baby, Father's Day got me the
Look at
official
that
mic.
mic. Look, if
Can
you
you
guys are
hear me?
watching this on the
Can you hear
YouTubes,
me?
look at we match
Guys,
now.
we match, and it no longer sounds like I am in the back corner of the room.
with
Everybody,
with a wired earbuds on. Yeah.
it's getting real. It's
Mm-hmm.
getting
Mm-hmm.
real. So get hyped because now you might as well be listening to the top podcast in the country because we're
Yeah. What?
professional.
Watch out, Joe Rogan. We're coming.
That's right. Watch out, Dax Shepard. I was just
There you
listening
go.
to the Armchair Expert
Nice.
podcast the other day, and
Speaking of
yeah,
Father's Day, happy Father's Day. I haven't talked to you in 2 weeks, so
yeah.
yeah,
Happy
wanted to
Father's
wish you
Day.
happy
And you know
Father's Day.
what? We didn't release a Father's Day episode per se, but you
Mm-mm.
guys, all of you dads that were out there being dads,
Happy
napping
Father's Day
and
to you.
playing and doing all the things. So happy Father's Day to you, belated, and
Yes. I like
hope
how you
you
said
enjoy it.
napping. What's that? I don't know what
That
that
was
is.
oh man, that was my gift, and along with this mic. And I mean, I feel like I was taken care of definitely for the year.
There
I
you
got
go.
I got to nap. I got to sleep in, and then I got a
Nice.
nap, and that's like
Ooh.
gold. That's
Oh.
gold.
You slept for a week. That's what it sounded like. You slept for a week.
Yeah, yeah. So, get this. Even
What?
better, we split Father's Day up into 2 mornings because I had work,
Ooh.
and so I got to nap twice.
Nice. That's like having your birthday next to Christmas, right? It's like you get to celebrate twice. That's awesome.
That's exactly what it was.
That's
Oh
awesome.
man. So yeah, yeah. So that's what's up, guys. We're here. We're professional now, and you can tell your friends about us. You don't have to worry about
Now that
being
we have mics.
shy.
Yeah,
Now that we
exactly.
have, yeah, now that I am professional. Rob's always been professional. He's the peak of professionality.
I've already peaked out. High school was it.
Yep.
It's just steady going from there. So we're good.
You've set the bar, really. You are the foundation. Thanks, Rob, for being our foundation.
Of course. So we were talking off air. I just got back from traveling overseas. I know there is a solo podcast somewhere. I recorded it, but had some issues, so that'll come out eventually on the trip. But yeah, we're back now. Took about 3 days for jet lag to get over, which was rough. And then for me to get back into the eating regiment that we normally eat. Mainly, it's quantity. That's usually the issue over there. It's I'm bored. Let's go eat. I'm bored. Let's go eat. So yeah, I did a lot of eating. But yeah,
That's tough
glad to be
not to
back.
do on a
It,
trip.
it, it is. And everything always tastes so good, right? Like you wait for the trip to happen. I'm not shy about it. We're a little bit of a foodie family. And so, man, yeah, we night market, restaurants, you name it. It almost got to a point where like the last day we were there, like I just want to fast. Like I am so full. I just want to have coffee and fast the rest of the day. But we didn't. We ate more. Um, but yeah, no, it's good to be back checking in on you. I know you've been busy as well. Father Day was over the break. We celebrated our anniversary, our wedding anniversary, for the first time with the in-laws, which was interesting.
Oh,
So that happened.
how many years?
Let's see, 19.
I was like
19.
18,
Yeah, 19
19.
married and 26 together. So
Wow.
yeah, so the cool thing is like celebrating it with the in-laws, like they've known me for that long. So that's the coolest thing. They've known me in my quote unquote adolescence, right? We started dating when we were 18. So it's kind of cool to be like, wow, you've stuck around for a while. I was like, thanks. That's awesome to say, I guess. But no,
Yeah.
they mean it in jest. But Yeah, we got to do just a easy dinner. Like even now, like we're not looking for like big lavish Michelin star stuff. We're like, hey, if we could get away from the kids for an hour and go do like the food court, we're good. So
There you go. There you go. Because it's far and few between. That is special
yes,
stuff.
yeah,
Speaking of which, I am taking Deb out on a delayed date. We
nice.
were it was postponed to today.
Mm,
Um, we're going out to see a movie, and the last time we saw a movie was before my 3-year-old was born. I think the first last time we saw a movie in the theaters together
yes.
was that long ago.
Hey,
So
congrats. That's awesome. That's
it's
awesome
kind of
that
a
you guys
big
are getting
deal.
out. It is a
Yeah,
big deal. You don't have to share your popcorn. It's a big deal.
we're going to one of those fancy ones too, where they
Ooh,
like eat a
yes.
meal.
Oh,
So
reserved seating. Nice.
yeah, come on, come on. If we're gonna do it, we're gonna do
Hey,
it. And I mean, it's
do
pretty
it.
much the
Exactly.
same price, anyways.
I was gonna
I
say
mean,
nowadays it's the same price as a normal ticket to get in.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So, quick little lightning round of what's going
mhm.
on in the neighborhood here. Well, no, first, I don't want to forget to ask this question because it's so important, Rob. It's so important. On a scale from one to important, it's like all the way on the top.
It's
I need to
gotcha.
know. I was getting my breakfast ready, and I was thinking about it. Are you the kind of guy that when you've buttered your bread or
Oh, the butter
you
question.
yeah, the butter question, or you put the cream cheese on the bagel?
Gotcha. Same thing. Yep.
Where's where's that knife going? Where's it go?
Like, what do you mean? Like after use or during the
What's
use
yeah,
or
after so like you spread it
yeah.
and you like cleaned off you like you put
So
it back in
there's
the
two
tub.
there's two parts too. Do you double dip? Right. So do you double dip or do you just get enough for one? Right. Because we have a Butterbell and we learned the hard way. You don't want to double dip.
Like yeah, going from like another like jam and then into
Ooh,
the
that's
butter. Is
tough.
that what you're
That's
saying?
tough.
Is that as far as
No,
double
no, no,
dipping?
no, no. So double dipping. What I mean by this is like, let's say you've got some toast,
Yeah.
and a Butterbell is basically a
I know.
butter.
I have one.
Yeah.
It's like the
Oh, there you go.
craziest thing. If you
Container in
explain it.
water.
Explain,
Okay,
yeah,
so
explain the butter belt.
basically imagine having an upside down bowl, right? That you put soft butter in, and
Yeah.
then you have a reservoir in a separate bowl full of water, and you place it in there so it creates a seal for the butter. Now, if you double dip and there's any type of matter in there, it'll grow fungus. So that's why we don't double dip on the bell. We
Ooh.
don't double dip on the bell.
Oh,
Back in
see,
the
no, I
day,
double dip.
yeah. So back in the day when it was just like the butter holder, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go and scrape. That's fine. But we noticed it extends the life, and the butter bell already extends the life of the butter. But
Yeah.
this way, it's like, hey, I'd rather you grab too much than too little because we're not going to double dip on this one. Now for the cream cheese, you can double dip because it goes in the refrigerator, right? So it's like I'm not too worried about anything growing too much.
Yeah.
Um,
I did
but yeah,
not think
so
about that,
so
and I
that was
definitely
where
found
that
stuff.
that was the angle I thought you were talking about. But as far as placing like the knife, when we make breakfast, we make it for party of five. So that knife's being used on everything, and we use like one knife for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
the only time it doesn't get doubled up on condiments is peanut butter because we do have an allergy in the family against peanut butter, so we will use
oh
a
yeah.
different knife. But
Yeah.
for everything else, hey, Dad, this kind of tastes like mayonnaise. Sorry, like that was the next thing in line. That was
I
it.
love that. I love that. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna pull out two knives. Like just get the like
What?
wipe it off on the bread on the
Yes,
edge.
that's what
Yeah,
the bread's for, is to
but
wipe off
my
the knife.
yeah, so the question though is let's say okay, you did your swipe of the
Got it.
butter
Mhm,
and you got more breakfast to be made or maybe
mhm.
you don't, maybe you're not sure. Where do you put the knife?
So if it's done, it goes in the sink. If it's done, it's
Yes.
going in the sink. If
Okay.
it's still to be determined, we have like a cutting board that kind of stays out for most of the day. It's because
So
the
it just
girls
sits
can,
on there.
yeah. So the girls can come and like cut fruit if they want, or if they
Yeah.
want a bagel for lunch or something. And so like that would probably stay in the corner of that because it could be used for other stuff, right? Cutting bananas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't go in the sink if we're like on the weekend and we're home, it would just go on the board. But if it's like a weekday part of the morning routine, then we're out for the day, then that would go in the sink.
Yeah. So I realized I saw a reel about this and it made me laugh because I'm definitely my personality is like use all the stuff and have fun and then clean it up later. And Deb is like
Clean as you go.
use clean as you
Yeah.
go. And then boom, it stays clean. And I
Hmm.
think maybe there's something psychological about the like the female brain or something. Uh like but she like mess stresses her out and like makes
Yeah.
her
Well,
unhappy and
I think
anxious.
there's also a bigger funnel for that. So let's say you're prepping dinner. There's going to be people that, hey, I'll cook, you clean, and I'm going to throw a bomb in the kitchen by the time I'm done. Like literally pots, pans, cups. And that's
Yep.
how it used to be. And then I realized it took almost longer to enjoy dinner because you have to clean for like an hour. So now what we do is we actually clean as we prep. So for example, let's say we're making like pasta sauce, right? Chopping onions, chopping carrots, all that kind of stuff. And then we actually have to cook the sauce. So as it's cooking, I'm going to wash the chopping board and the tablespoons and the cup measurements, stuff like that, put them in the dryer because I have to wait for the sauce to simmer anyways. So by the time we finish and we're serving dinner, we're only really cleaning the plates we're eating off of, not all of the extra prep stuff. And that just saves us time in general. Whereas before,
Yeah.
no, I'd be the same way. Now, there is a asterisk, a little Barry Bonds asterisk. We do not have a dishwasher. So we hand wash and hand dry everything. So that's another reason, time wise, is to do it along the way versus waiting at the end, or else like you put the kids down and it's like a 2 hour ordeal, right? Cleaning the house and cleaning the dishes. So we just
Yeah.
do it as we go.
Now, wait, hold on, pause. Pause this
Back
conversation.
up. Did you
You
just
said
say
you said Barry Bonds asterisk, and I need to know: are we talking about like, well, Barry Bonds had the home run, but he's an
yeah,
asterisk because
but
he
did
used the
he
juice?
exactly? So that's what I meant by this
Okay.
is like,
I
wait
have
a
not. I
second.
haven't heard that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's like, what, Rob, you said you do everything by hand. Yeah, because I don't have a dishwasher,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Barry Bonds,
I'm
quote
tracking.
unquote, maybe got into the books because he
Yes.
had a little extra help. But yeah, so that's
Yeah.
where the reference comes from. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Barry Bonds asterisk.
Did,
Yes, I
didn't
do
that?
this, but it's
Wasn't
because
that
this is
also the
why.
same for Mark McGuire?
Oh yeah, all those
Yeah.
guys. I mean, if you look at the before and after Juice, like wow, that's two different. Is that your brother? Like that's totally a different
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Get swole, baby. Okay. So, yeah. So all that to be said was I saw this reel about the guy. He puts the cream cheese on, and then he sets the knife on the edge of the counter, like
Ooh,
of the
okay.
sink, so it's hanging off.
Yep,
So
yep. I've done that before.
that
Where
the
the
mess
cream
isn't.
cheese part is
The,
hanging inside the bowl,
yeah, it's
basically.
not touching anything.
Yep,
So then it's
yep,
safe. It's ready to be used again.
yep.
In case it's needed, because again, we're not going to pull out another knife. We don't want to wash like
Nope.
25
I've
knives.
done that before. I've done that before.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Well, so it's funny because every time we're in the kitchen together, you know,
That
like
gets
for
snatched up and watched as
breakfast.
soon as you
Yeah,
turn
I'm
your
like,
back.
where'd
You're
my
like,
knife
where'd it
go?
go? Yep,
I was just using this, and it's in
yep,
the sink, and it's already wet. So
yep.
man,
Yeah, I've been there.
so yeah, I'm definitely a hang off the ledge knife guy, and I'm like,
Mhm.
let's leave it for a little while. Maybe we feel like we're full, but you never know when you might
Hey,
decide we need
you
one
might
more.
want seconds. You might want seconds.
Yeah, or the baby wants something, or the kid's like,
Mhm,
"Hey,
mhm.
I said I hate peanut butter, but now I love it. I want to."
That does happen within a couple minutes. Yeah,
It's a dad thing. Be
it
prepared.
is. Yep.
So, okay, so that was my question, and we're halfway through the podcast now, and so we can
Just
start.
talking about butter knives. Yep. Okay.
So, this is why they listen, though. This is the good part. This is what everybody wants. Is the banter?
Yes, you have to
Because
get through all the movie trailers before the movie. So,
yeah, yeah, and some people go just for the trailers. I mean,
hey,
maybe not many, but they like him. I don't know.
either way.
Yeah, I miss that. I miss that. You know, remember I haven't been to the movies with my wife for 3 years.
I don't know
I
what you're
miss looking
talking
at,
about,
oh,
sir.
that
I
looks
still have yet.
so good. I
Yeah.
love doing that.
I don't
She's
know
like,
what anything over 27 inches in diagonal looks like. So, yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Um, I went to an IMAX showing. I went by myself. I got the chance. The last movie I saw was
Nice.
Gladiator 2,
Ooh,
and
okay.
that I was surprised that it was technically considered IMAX because I was like, this screen doesn't look. I think the screens are shrinking. I think the movie
Mm.
theaters are like, we can squeeze more in and we'll call this IMAX now. But it did not feel very big. Maybe that's just because I'm getting older, you know? Like the house looks bigger when you're a kid, and now
Yeah,
you're an
now it's
adult.
tiny. Yeah, it could be
I,
that. I'm leaning towards that more than anything.
I think that's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
I was like, this is not very big, but it was still cool to watch Gladiator 2 on the big screen. And today I'm going to see F1, only the
Ooh.
premiere movie of the decade, the most
Mhm.
realistic showing of what it's like to be in a Formula One car ever to be seen on the screen.
Oh, dreams
It
of that. We have dreams of that. Yes.
it should be good. It should be good.
Well, I'll catch up with you next week on that too.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
on our list, but like you, it's all about finding a schedule that could potentially work to watch a movie. But yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And so we'll by next week we mean like in a couple weeks because guess what? I'm heading to Hawaii.
Yes,
Woo,
sir.
woo, baby, baby. So the Big Island summons, and
And is
we're
this like the first big airplane trip with all the kiddos?
no, we've
Okay.
done Germany with the kiddos,
Oh,
all
that's
three.
true. That is true.
Yeah,
This is small peanuts compared to that flight. So,
small peanuts. Actually, I can't say no. It wasn't all three. It was the two, and Deb was pregnant.
well,
That's when we
technically it's
found
three.
out. That's
So.
when we found out
Oh
we had
yeah,
our
yep.
triplets.
Mhm.
There, good times. So yeah, yeah, so so I guess you could say this is the first like bigger flight with the three.
Mhm.
We were just trying to figure out the logistics because we're not crazy. We're not like gluttons for punishment. So we got a seat for the baby.
Smart.
It's it's like 5 hours. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're gonna
It's
play this
enough.
smart.
Yeah, unless you want to be strapped to a baby Bjorn for 5 hours, like get the seat.
Yeah, yeah. And that baby's not gonna want to be in that. The baby's gonna be
Mm,
everywhere else. So the seat is what we're doing. But anyways, it's like, wait, yeah, technically we have five luggage, like we have five free bags.
yeah.
But remember, we're carrying a car
It's
seat
2
bag
people
and a
carrying
stroller
5.
bag
Yeah.
and a baby and a
Yeah.
stroller.
It's funny. It's now that you mention it, that's something that like Mo and I talked about this trip is like with every long trip. And what I mean by long is like not drivable, right? Where you have the car to carry everything.
Yeah.
You get more and more efficient with how you pack and what you pack, right? So I don't know if this is going to be the topic of the day, but might as well we're talking about it. But like traveling international, we mentioned snacks was the big thing, and it like we overpacked snacks this time. Like we brought back half a suitcase of snacks that we brought there because the grandparents were like, no, we don't eat granola bars. Like you guys can take them with you, or what's a beef stick, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that luggage wise, I remember trips when the kids were younger where it's like, okay, we need the bob, right? We need the stroller. We need the car seat because we're going to rent a car there. We need all this stuff. And it was like a bajillion pounds that I'm trying to carry in both hands. And oh, don't forget, we have to carry the kids too. Like, and getting through airport and picking up. Yeah, the more efficient you can get, and you kind of like I feel like it's a Mr. Beast show, right? Like you have to choose, hey, are we going left or right on this? We're going to have to sacrifice something,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
are we going to bring the stroller and not the car seat and maybe rent a car seat and hopefully it fits, or we don't do the stroller, but that means we're carrying the baby the entire trip. So how's the planning phase of this going?
Thankfully I'm married to like a five-star planner.
That is
And
true.
so we were just talking about this. I mean, it's really unfair. It's completely imbalanced. Every trip, she buys the tickets, she makes the list, she packs all the stuff, she buys the extra things that are required. She packs every single bag. She makes sure every like baby item is there. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I need shorts and a shirt. I'll throw this in a backpack. And then I'm like, what do you want me to carry? That's all I do. I don't do
But here
anything else.
But here's the funny part. I know a lot of dads are going to be listening to this like, "Oh man, like Travis is spoiled." But yes, he is. Secondly, you don't know you don't know all the times. I'm sure this has happened because I'm preaching to the choir. I know this has happened where Travis like, "You know what? I'll take packing the suitcase this time." And then Deb's like, You sure about that, bud? Right?
Yeah.
You're like, how hard can it be? Right. And so you do the job to your full capacity. And then there's always like a clean sweep where, like, so where are the toothbrushes? Like, oh, I totally forgot the toothbrushes. From then on, it's like, you know what? You should do the packing. And then that just cascades, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll get the tickets this time. Sure about that, bud? Yeah. Yeah. Why are we all seated in 5 different seats? Like, we're not next to
Why
each other.
did you pay
What
3 times the amount you needed to?
exactly. So it ends up being like, okay, it's not my strength, right? I'm gonna let my spouse do it. Because
Yep.
it's not only a strength, and I find it in relationships, it's almost like a comfort thing. Like, I would love for you to help in this scenario, but it's actually more comforting for me to know that I'm doing this on my own, if that makes sense, right? So it's like, I know you're more than capable of helping me out. And yes, I want you to be able to do that. But for my own like mental health, so that I don't have to check again, let me just do this part. And you know what? That part I'll let you do. Right. And I know you do it really well. And I know you worry about me when I do it. So we kind of divide and conquer in that way.
Yes, yes. And like the thing that I'm trying to do this round, what we're working on is like I know that she needs the time and space to do some of the stuff that needs
Mhm.
to get done. And so I got to try and like I'm going to take the kids out to Costco like to run
There
a,
you go.
errand.
Yep.
Like I'm going to make sure that she has the space even just to recharge. So and then
After
she
doing
can
that.
get
Yeah.
back to yeah, like okay, and then we go from there. So
Yeah. We do the same
we're
thing.
trying to do that. Plus, we're trying to be ready a day in advance because the 4th
Ooh.
of July is the day before we leave,
Oh yeah, it is 4th of July
and
weekend.
we
Oof.
leave we leave early on the
Ooh.
5th of July.
Oh.
Like woohoo. Um, yeah, and our neighborhood, like I love like doing the neighborhood fireworks. It's great, but
Mhm.
also I'm a parent now, and
Mhm.
I'm no longer fully fun anymore. I'm an adult. Uh,
I think you're fully fun. It's changed. The definition of fun has changed. That's all.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
fully fun.
yeah, yeah. And so everybody lights off illegal fireworks until the rooster crows, and I'm
Mhm.
like,
Or the
this
baby
is
doesn't sleep anymore.
well, the
Or
kids slept, but I didn't. I totally pulled the angry dad move. Um, Maybe we talked about this last year because we've been recording for quite a while, but
yeah.
like it was 2:45 a.m. and I still
Ooh.
had not closed my eyes. I could not sleep because they were just exploding outside the window. And so
Oh
I
my
got
goodness.
up, I drove down the street, and I was like, I'm gonna find the house that this is at, and I'm gonna give them a piece of my mind.
You took that big bright LED light that you just like shine. Excuse me, sir.
Oh, yeah. But
Okay,
guess
I
what?
got
It
you.
wouldn't have helped one way or the other because I realized the city had basically said, you know what? At least if everybody's lighting the illegal fireworks in one spot, that'll be a good. That's better than having them all over the place. There were like 3,000 people on the street down
Oh
on
my
like
goodness.
one street over.
Yeah.
And they were all lighting their illegal fireworks off in one place, and all the CHP officers were just like kind of
Just
around the
corralling
outskirts,
them in. Yeah.
just hanging out. They're like, hey, as long as nothing happens. So, anyways, I'm not gonna sleep, and then we have to go to Hawaii. That's the only thing I'm not looking forward
I was
to.
gonna say you might as well just stay up. Like literally just stay up. Right?
Yeah, I
Sleep
mean,
on
I
the
could
plane.
sleep in Hawaii,
Sleep on the
or
plane, right? I actually don't
yeah,
sleep on
yeah,
the plane because
yeah.
Deb's gonna
I
give
was,
me a text.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was gonna
So
say, yeah, no, I'm not gonna get to sleep on the plane because
yeah,
the thing.
even if the kids doze off, like you have like that one eye open because you know that's gonna. I need to go potty. Like I
Yeah, the
just
second you
okay.
fall
Let's
asleep,
go.
I need to go
Let's
potty.
go. Let's go. Yep.
Yeah. So, anywho, let's see,
Hawaii, man,
where
that's
were
awesome.
we? The other thing,
We're
yeah, Hawaii's coming, and yeah, we went camping. So while you were out, we went
oh
camping
okay, nice.
again, and that was great with a bunch of friends from church. So that was
That's the
cool,
best. Like
and
camping with like
the
a
kids,
close group community is so much fun because then like everyone watches everyone's kids, which is kind of nice, right? And the adults
yep,
can hang out with adults, and it's so low overhead, especially if you like camping, to like have a go bag, right? Like you know where your tent's at, you know where all the stuff's at, and you just clean it up when you get
yep.
done so that the next trip super quick.
Yep, yep. So it was easy. I mean, yeah, the baby didn't want to sleep
Mm,
in the different spot, but the older kids are getting better. So it was cool to see like they're
nice.
sleeping through the night,
That's
unfazed
awesome.
by being in the cold.
That's awesome.
So Um, yeah, and then now I'm just working on projects around my house. And I think, I was going to use a different subject matter for this
Okay.
podcast, but I think we can utilize this as the final note
Okay.
because we're so far in anyways.
Hmm.
And I think it's going to be great. I think it's a worthwhile note. Also, it's fun to just hear what the other dads are thinking. So this is why we do this. Is we're riffing, we're talking, and now you can sit and talk to your buddies about what
Yep.
kind of nice person you are.
Hmm.
And you had some fun while you were driving, so you thought which kind of person you are.
You
So
knew it before we even got to the conclusion. You already knew.
yeah. So well, and also we're here to like share, hopefully make a positive impact, all that
Yeah.
kind of good
Well,
stuff,
that's the point.
the,
That's the
the
whole point.
deep stuff.
That's the deep stuff.
um so yeah, so what I've realized is that I'm approaching, like, I'm in a new chapter
Mm,
coming into this now that the third kid is like almost 1.5.
that's so
It's just
crazy.
like it's insane. It's crazy.
Hmm.
um she's 17 months, yeah, so we're just about there. And it's coming to my mind that, like, hey, you can't do all the things, not because like physically, but like just
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no time to do.
Yeah.
Yes, physically also.
Yeah.
um, but you can't do all the things that you wanted to do, and that's okay. It just means, like, it's time to shift stuff around. So physically, it's like,
Hmm.
the physical is now matching up with the mental, and the
Hmm.
side. And what I mean by that is, I've been like cleaning out our space in our backyard. Like, we're ready to like make that more kid friendly, and we've been saving up, and we want to like put grass down and things like that. But
Mm.
also, it's like I got loads of like wood that I have collected as a woodworker that I want to process, and I've never processed. And it's just like creating like spider pits everywhere, and a bunch of it's
Yeah.
rotting. And we got all this stuff that we've been trying to like, or that I haven't had any time to deal with. And I realized
Hmm.
those 12 projects are no longer even feasible for me to do. It's time to
Hmm.
like let go and have somebody else take that or throw it away,
Yeah.
because there are two new ones that are way more important and are going to be a much more worthy investment into my family's time.
Yeah.
Right. And so lately, the last like 2 weeks have been just like purge, 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 get everything out. I'm sitting in a new spot in the shop. I'm
Hmm.
rotating everything in here and going, like, you know what? I just don't have the time for that type of woodworking. So I'm going to stick with this one thing. And everything else that is not applicable to that, I'm going to try and sell, get rid of.
Hmm.
And then I can recycle that money into, like, just being more focused on the one thing when I have the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was going in the shop a lot last year, but now that time is just very far and few between. So
And you know
it's
what? I applaud you for that too, because I think there's something to be said about like seasons, right? And even Mo and I were talking about this the other day. It's like we're a couple seasons in front of you, and similarly, like now that the kids can handle themselves a little bit more, it's like we have more time. Do we go back to old projects that we wanted to do? Do we start new ones? So, like you're saying, I think it takes a lot of awareness to realize that versus like holding on to the past, so to speak. Like, but I really want to do this project. Yeah, but it's been 3 years since we've touched that piece of equipment or that project. And for us, like, uh, Mo will say this kind of like it's one of my broken record things I do every year is whenever I get to a point where I feel like we're stuck, either relationship wise, or I notice like the kids' homework, it's part of like cleansing, right? So, hey, you know what? We don't only do spring cleaning in spring. If there's stuff that's been laying around in the closet, clothes, right? Closet for a while, or the garage, which is my version of Travis's amazing tool shed and workshop. It's like, you know what? It's time to say goodbye. And with all those goodbyes comes new energy, new opportunity for stuff. And we always love it. And I was talking to Travis off air. It's like we've had a downstairs office for years, but now we have an official teenager that wants her own space, which means I had to cleanse a lot of this kind of stuff. Now, like my workspace is on a mobile desk. Like literally this rolls around the house because now it's not the priority anymore, right? Like our kids growing up is the priority. And so I applaud you for to saying goodbye to some of those old projects and cleaning, but I only know it's gonna almost like take some weight off the shoulder, so to speak, because in the back of our minds, like, well, I kind of want to get back to that. I hope I have time to get back to that. I wish I had time to get back to that, to finally just like, you know what, I'm gonna let that go because I actually want to focus on what's in front of me. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I applaud you as well. Like I was sitting here thinking about it when we were talking before.
mm,
Like you lost your whole office space, but
yeah,
it's like really a beautiful thing because you have this like glowing light behind
it looks
you,
great.
and
It looks
the
great.
kids and the kids are back there.
It,
And
you'll
like it's
it's dads
there's
in
no
real
noise.
life.
There's
Like
no
this is it.
noise. Yeah,
No,
that's right.
thanks to this, right?
Yeah, because we got these professional mics.
Because we're
Both of
professionals.
us, because we both sound so good. Um, but yeah, tis the season. So the
Hmm.
question I asked to our listeners is, what season are you in,
Hmm.
and are you in the middle of it, or maybe is it time? Is it
Yeah,
time to switch gears, to shift into a different gear, or to turn the page to a new chapter, whatever
yeah.
it feels like? Yeah, maybe it's the pace, maybe it's the stuff, maybe it whatever, what have you.
Hmm.
Um,
And just
definitely
also
worth
like
the
notice what you're
assessment.
holding on to. Like, do you really need to be holding on to that? Is it realistic in your season of life to be holding on to that? Because a lot of times, I know for us, a lot of our momentum or a lot of our energy gets zapped because of old anchors, right? Like they're still anchoring us down, which we don't even use them anymore or need them, but we're not aware of them until we do like these quarterly, like, hey, let's go through this stuff. Like, I don't know when the last time I wore a button down shirt was. Like, not to brag or anything, but I used
I
to
just had this
wear
conversation with
I
Deb.
used to wear suits, right? I used to in a past life. And so every season, like my closet gets thinner and thinner, and it was like 5 button down shirts. Then it was like 3. Now it's like 1. And even during this season right now, it's like, do I really need that one? Like,
Yeah.
right? Like we're past the wedding season,
Yeah.
like stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
like, what are you
Yeah.
still holding on
Yeah.
to, right? And is now I understand nostalgia. We have a great episode on nostalgia, but there's definitely
Yes.
things that you don't need to hold on to that could potentially be holding you back, right?
Absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that because it's true. It takes up brain space, and it also
Hmm.
takes up it eats away at productivity on other things.
Hmm.
Or the word that Deb has been using a lot and that we've kind of implemented, that I've been trying to think about this year too, is kudos to her, is stewardship, right?
Hmm.
And some
Hmm.
people, I don't know if they throw that word around much or not, but for us, we want to steward our resources. We want to take care of the things that we've been given and
Hmm.
blessed with, and we want to be able to utilize those things for meaningful purpose. And so
Hmm.
if it's not serving any purpose, it's just taking away from the other things that we could be stewarding,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
so you got to clear out the physical space because it also clear out the mental space, like they
Yes.
go hand in hand. So
Yes. And it's
um
something we've talked about before in the past. So I call it ambient stress. So it's all the
yes,
small to do stuff
yes.
that you really don't need it to do, but because it's in the back of your mind, it's taking up space, right? And so just like physical stuff, like, hey, you only have so much battery to steward things in general, and so might as well kind of refocus on the things that you want to be doing, and the stuff that's causing ambient stress, just let it go.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that's what I want to leave people with today. Is
Yeah,
just
I think that was
what season
good.
are we in? What do we need to transition into or out of? And um, yeah, how do we live intentionally? Man, that's tough. Not
Yeah,
just let it fly by.
especially like early seasons of parenting, right? Where it's like low battery, low everything. It's easy just to be like, I just need it to be tomorrow. But with littles, right? To counter that, they're only little for so long. So how do you be present? One of those ways is to take stuff off your plate, right? Take stuff that doesn't need to be there anymore, at least for this season.
So,
Okay.
as per the usual, and for the first time ever in crisp, clear audio,
Audio.
we are not professionals.
We are not gurus. We're just
We are just two
two
dads
dads in real
in real
life.
life.